The work is all done for you. Get this deal. I implore you. It's Rhyme and Reason 518.
There's a rhyme and reason for your life. There's a rhyme and reason why you're...
Hey there, Tony here. And wowie zowie, have I got a deal for you. Possibly for you. I mean, it's not for everybody. I realize that. Some people don't need this deal. Well, they need it, but they already have it. Well, it'll make sense here in a little bit. But just imagine that hardest thing you could possibly do. You're not looking forward to it. You know you got to get it done. And it's going to be really, really hard. And you're full of dread, sweating bullets. And then imagine having all that hard work done for you. Somebody comes up and says, I'm going to do all that work for you. And you're like, oh, well, I can't afford it. And they go, no, I'm going to do it for you. No problem. But I bet you're not thinking what I'm thinking. And you should be. Because what I'm thinking is way more valuable to you than what you're maybe thinking. Boy, I'm just an arrogant so-and-so, aren't I? Okay, Tony, I'll bite. What's all this hard work done for you stuff? What is that, hard work? I'd like some hard work done. What is it? Tell me. Well, I'm glad you asked, because the fate of the world is resting on your decision. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe not the whole world, but certainly your whole world. But what did you think of when I was saying, imagine that hardest thing you could possibly do? Was it work 80 hours a week at hard labor in the blazing sun? My parents abused me. They sent me out to the fields, the wheat fields of Kansas when I was just a wee teenager. And I had to work all day long, 18 hours a day, hauling hay. I'm telling you, it was abusive. Where am I? No, I got to do some good hard labor in the sun in Kansas in the summertime, 100 degrees out there on those wheat fields, bucking bales. You don't get much funner than that. Anyway, something like that you imagine, or maybe you imagine fishermen, those guys who have to go out there in those cold Arctic waters in search of the lobsters, etc. Would never want that job. How about digging down deep in the earth in a coal mine maybe all day? Ooh, that sounds miserable and difficult. What about working in crawl spaces under the houses, to get rid of pests like giant snakes and rats and other critters? People do have these jobs I'm talking about, and it's horrible. And maybe you don't have anything that horrible, but maybe there's something, that you got facing you every once in a while or now or whatever. I can go on and on. I mean, there's a lot of things that I would probably forget about when you want to, talk about these extremely difficult jobs and things that you got to do. But I'm telling you that none of those even remotely compare to the actual hardest work you could possibly ever do. In fact, if you try to do this work on your own, you'll never, ever be able to do it. And I don't care how impressive your six-pack or your low body fat is. I don't care about that. You're not physically able to do what a lot of people are going to end up trying to do. And it's a crying shame that they, or hopefully you are not, would be stupid enough to try. Okay, are you ready for me to just go ahead and reveal this mystery? Are you tired of me beating around the bush about it? Should I ask a few more questions to really get you mad at me? Okay, I'm not going to do that. The most difficult, in fact, impossible work you could ever have to do is pay for your own sin. And I say impossible because your little old self ain't righteous. So your little old self ain't got what it takes to make all the payments. I don't care how long you work 24/7. You're not going to do it. And if you try to pay for your own sin, you'll be working forever. Forever. I don't know if you know it. That's a long time. And it's going to be in a miserable, hot, lonely place. And it won't be some silly 80-hour work week either. It'll be work without end. It will never end. You won't get vacations. You're not going to get, weekends off. You're not going to get holidays. You're not going to get Labor Day off, that special Monday, and have some barbecue and all that. That's not going to happen. But if you've been following my writings and my podcasts here for any length of time at all, You know that I'm not all about the doom and gloom, and this time is no different. You don't have to do all that hard work. In fact, with one act of humility and one easy choice, you can have it all done for you. Another fact is, it's already been done, but only if you choose wisely. The work has already been done for you, but only if you choose wisely. Here's what I wish for you specifically, if you're listening to me and you haven't already made the decision to let Jesus pay for your sin instead of you trying to do that hard work. Here's what I wish for you, that God would grant you according to your heart's desire and fulfill all your purpose. And when you choose to skip all the hard work, just like in the Bible it says, I'm going to say this, I'll rejoice in your salvation. But don't let another day pass. Today, you could run out of gas, and your life would run dry as you just wonder why. It was burned up like dried up old grass. Okay, that's my little soapbox pulpit kind of thing going on today here at the Rhyme and Reason Podcast, brought to you by TonyFunderburk.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if this doesn't apply to you, but you know someone it does, would you share it with them? There's links in the show notes and on TonyFunderburk.com all over the place where they can get this podcast delivered right to them too. There are some people out there in the world that might actually respond to my goofiness. It could happen. Hey, it's happened before. I know. Thank you so much again. And until next time, remember, life has rhyme and reason because God made you.
There's a rhyme and